vlogging camera, and there's a setting on it where you plug it into your computer and it streams.
We're streaming. We're live.
Yeah, man.
We're live. Right then, so this is Just Fucking Do It podcast. It's week number 4. And it's been a challenging week for all of us. We'll get into that in a bit, but we're going to learn lessons from it and we're going to move forward, because that's if all else fails, that is the biggest habit we've sort of kick-started since the new year. So it's all good. I know personally I've had a challenging week. We've just had a quick whiz around room. It's the same for these guys. So I think what we should do is sort of do a little scoring thing that we do for the week: health, wealth, and relationships, because that's what we're here for. We're 3 guys that are looking to improve us health, wealth, and relationships. And we're doing it step by step, live in front of men, just like normal guys, just like we are. It's something we're going to do anyway on WhatsApp or on Zoom. We just thought we'd share it because that's what we're like. We're caring, sharing chaps. It's been a really challenging week. So let's sort of score ourselves in health, wealth, and relationships out of 10. We'll go around the room and break it down like we do every week, and then we'll get into some lessons and start setting some targets for next week, if that's all good with you, Ben, John?
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
Cool. So let's pop our scores down then. So remembering the goals that we were set as well, around those sort of parts, those categories. So health, wealth. Oh, yeah. Wealth took a hit this week. Big time. And relationships.
On the journey, brother.
Fucking hell. That's a bad week. Anyway, but we're smiling. So go on then, we'll start with John. So a review, give us your scores out of 10 for health, wealth, relationships, and then
health-wise, bit of a dippy one, I suppose. Obviously I had a health set goal, which was to get a grip on my food again, but as we discussed earlier, it generally went pretty well at the start of the week, and then I just had a load of spontaneous social events which came up with friends and family, and kind of knocked that off a little bit. Usually I would, whenever I'm coaching anybody, I say that, you know, preparation's key to anything like this, and I just didn't have time to prepare for it. They kind of happened. So I went over on a few of the days on my calories and things like that. Apart from that, though, everything's pretty good. I feel good. I've managed to avoid this deadly lurgy that's going around again so far, and training's going well. So yeah, I'm going to give myself I'm going to go 6 this week, just because I wasn't on point as I'd like to be.
All right. And what about wealth?
I did what was asked of me on 5 of the 7 days, which was the offer to work with 2 people. From that, I got knocked back a few times purely just people couldn't afford it or anything like that. But I did get a sales call and I sold it. So that's a win. That came from sort of out of nowhere, and that'll be a hybrid one as well. So I can take that on the floor and online. So I'm happy with that. I haven't earned anything as such this week, though. Obviously, I'm in limbo before I go back onto the gym floor. I've made any online sales this week. I haven't really pushed it that much, apart from the kind of offering to work with people, just focusing more on the content side and building up the program again. So I'm going to stick to what I was last week. I don't feel I'm any further behind, but I'm definitely not really any further forward either. So 6 last week.
All right. And relationships?
Relationships is good. That's probably my highest one, which it generally has been anyway. My brother came up, my family came round. I cooked for 11 of them on Friday. Went out, met up with friends, got my niece's birthday today. Everything's good. So I'm going to go 8 on relationships, which kind of comes into that health thing that I said before. Yeah, you know, life happened. You've got to toss up which one's the more important to you at that point in time, isn't it, really? Sometimes.
Yeah. From like what I'm hearing, like I think it's very refreshing to hear you talk like that, because normally you're just full savage, like everyone else can get out of the way. So it's quite nice.
No, I am. You know me. I'm very passionate about making sure that I have good relationships with people. care. The people that are in my life, I care about a lot. And like I said, I can set myself a goal, but I'm not gonna fucking miss out on a family occasion or going for a meal with my mum and dad on, things like that, just to hit 2,600 calories a day. It's not worth it. There's bigger things in life. And ultimately, my food's not that bad. I wouldn't be in the shape I'm in if it was. So I had to toss up whether it was like, on these occasions, do I go out and miss out? Or, it wasn't even a case of like, could I choose something healthy? They were going for fucking Chineses and pizzas and shit. Like, it's, you get what you get, don't you, a lot of the time. So I just made that choice, and for me, that was the right choice.
We're kind of getting at that. What I was saying, but normally you beat yourself up for dropping off. There's not a negative way to come out your mouth about it.
No, not at all.
That's wicked, isn't it? I don't know what Ben thinks. Like,
if anything, that's probably one of the big growth things I've seen from this as well. Is I've stopped being right hard on myself.
Stands out, mate.
Yeah,
like Zen.
I know. Yeah, sounds ice bath, brother. 8 o'clock next to us. Fucking early morning ice bath. Getting that breath sorted, getting it done.
I was showing my mum yesterday.
Weird.
Yeah.
Showing my mum. You get your mum in the ice bath, but that'll be a bonding time.
Oof, no, mate. No, mate. No. Ben, then.
So for me, I'm going to score health a 7 because it would have been a better score than that for this week, but I failed on the pudding side a couple of times. One day, Cloud brought me back a donut, which were banging, so I couldn't say no to that.
Mate, all right. If you can't control yourself around a donut, how the fuck are you going to control the rest of your life?
Listen, I'm not saying it's right, but you didn't see this donut, Dan. It was from Eve's Kitchen, and it were like vanilla, Madagascar vanilla stuffed. Like I don't know what to tell you, mate. Like, it is what it is. And one of the other days was my bad. It was sticky toffee pudding that we bought last week, and it were going to go out of date. So man ate that.
Poor sticky toffee pudding.
Yeah, but obviously went against what I said I were going to do. So yeah, that's how I've given myself 7. It would have been higher because I've started training this week and I got back in gym, and I do feel way better from being out of the house and being out and about, getting some fresh air and training again. So this week would have been much better if I'd not been a bell end with my puddings. Wealth, I'm going to give myself still around a 6 with that one. I've been pretty consistent following people. My following's grown probably just over 50 or 60 this week, which is decent. Just because I've been going absolutely savage following people. I said I was going to follow 10 a day. I've been following like 20 or 30 a day. From that, I've been having around 3 or 4 conversations, so still slightly shy of the 5, but I have been messaging people. It's just a case of if they message back, basically. But I have been trying to push for those 5. I do think I could be better with that, messaging even more people and being more aggressive with it. So that's why I give myself a 6. And ultimately, the end goal is to get people on calls and make sales. So that could be higher as well. Relationship-wise, sharing in the groups and social media every day, definitely shit for me this week. I started off really good for like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I started dying off as the week went on. As you know, I shared less in group, and I didn't do a social media page for this, which is also shit by me. So yeah, pour one for that. I'm gonna give myself 4.
Okay, that's quite a bit to chew on there, isn't there? Just remember them notes. We'll come back to them. We'll sort of whiz through them. So for me, health 4. I've had a shit week. I think it was Wednesday night or Tuesday night. I literally could not get sleep. I was like swallowing razor blades. I like couldn't breathe. Like, so up all night, felt like shit, no energy. So from Wednesday night, really, because Monday, Tuesday, I set off like an house on fire, loving it. I was really motivated, ticking boxes, really productive, doing what I said I'd do, just habit bashing. I loved it because I just felt in control, and this is what I do. And then just got struck down by it. And I think normally though, I'd have just got struck down by it. And actually, the way that I was behaving when I was ill was probably the way I was behaving previous to having some good solid habits, which is fucking embarrassing. But I thought about it. I thought, you know what? This is how you would be 6 weeks ago. Like just procrastinating and walking out house or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that were a stark contrast compared to the Monday, Tuesday that I'd had. Wednesday as well, learning that I were on point. So health for this is the first day I've woke up to here, and I actually sound like a little bit more like myself. I felt garbage. So that's been unfortunate. Wealth, 3. I've been hit with a big bill, really big bill, and it comes back to how I was operating in 2022. Basically, got sort of talked into taking some funding on a large amount of money to try and get us through the winter with my business because it was slow, because I was in that place with no energy, etc., etc. Winding the business up, it's got a PG attached to this money, and I didn't think it did. So that's going to fucking wipe me out. But I think I'm actually quite impressed with how I dealt with it, because I've just not let it bother me whatsoever. There's nothing I can do about it. Accept responsibility, deal with the people, swallow the frog, get on with it. I'll find a way. So that's good. So I'm definitely in a better place. We're 4 weeks into this now.
Yeah.
And I talk about it with anybody who'll listen, because I know that I'm in a better place for it, and I'm really excited for where we're going. But I think this is one of the things about this week is we need to right, that's 4 weeks done. Yeah, it's been all right. But now we'll go to another level, and we've got to push ourselves a bit more, because otherwise we're going to keep coming on with little soft excuses as well, just being as bad as we were. When actually, we could have been 20% further forward if we were really committed to just, in reality, not that much. Like, but we'll talk about that. Relationships. I think I'm being hard on myself there, actually. I've put a 4. But I've been seeing mum and dad. I've phoned people. I've put a 4. I'm gonna say 5.
Yeah, you went chat over me for lunch, stuff like that. You've done.
Yeah. I think I'm being hard on myself there. I think relationships have been fine. I've been good at messaging people. I've just had a message from somebody else out of the blue, Paul Ellis, which were nice. It's just that he did it at the wrong time. So I'll message Paul back. No, Paul from a while back. He used to work in my business with me. Been seeing mum and dad. Been moving out. Felt like shit, but I've spoken to people and what have you. So 5. Relationships have been all right. I can't remember what sort of parameters we set for that. I think I said I was gonna.
So did you take your mum out?
But it's the kids I've stayed away from more than anything, because I didn't want to give them cold. I didn't took mum and dad out because I felt like shit. I didn't only went to see him yesterday. Things my dad's got like terminal cancer. You don't want to be taking germs around to him because he's got no immune system. So I've stayed away from them. I spoke to them on phone. I haven't planned out with kids because I've been ill. But I have spoken to mates and stuff, and one of them done me a good, well, not even me, my ex-wife. He's looked after my ex-wife and sorted a car windscreen out for her. He didn't have to do that. I thanked him. My ex-wife didn't. But there you go. So he's been good. He always is, though. I'm going to meet him later, actually, and it's some balls. So, yeah, relationships, 5. So overall, shit score. But
it's a good point, though, that ultimately you're ill all the week. So, like, you can't be too hard on yourself. That's life.
I've still done everything, really. Like, that I can. So I thought about this. It's like a bit like when your body shuts down in it, like into survival mode. You do the basics. You eat some food, drink some water. It's just your vital organs are getting the blood, aren't they? Everything else gets shut off. All the shit that is unnecessary. Like, I've not trained, which is massive for me because I'm really getting into my programming, really enjoying it. But I wouldn't have got anything from going to the gym. So I sacrificed that and saved my energy for the things that I could move forward. Yep. So work-wise, I've been brilliant, like really on it. And I've got a shit ton of potential business coming next week. It's just a bit like you guys have said, people just aren't quite ready. But I've got more plates being spun this week than I think I've ever had before. they're almost there. Do you know what I mean? Over the line. So next week potentially could be huge. I wanted it to be big this week, but you can't force people to spend money. It's a big investment what they're doing with what I do. So sometimes it's a little bit out of your hands. But in terms of how I've presented what I do, I've got more interest because I've done it better. I've spent time on the pitch, the sales deck, the proposition for them, and they've responded massively to a point where I'm like super confident in what I'm doing, and I feel like I can sell every single time that I go into, because I'm trying to do my best for people. So I can sell every single time I go into a sale, which is impossible. But if that's how you feel, you've got a fighting chance, haven't you?
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to next week, because I'll have a pipeline with another 10 to 15 leads in there, but a good 7 that are so close to getting over the line. It's incredible. Normally it's 2 or 3 you'll have dangling around. So that's exciting. See how that transpires next week. But that's because of the work I've put in this year since doing this, the accountability piece. So yeah, it's good. So sounds like we've all had a bit of a hit and miss, but I think I always hold my hands up to being a bullshitter with excuses. So now it's your turn, you fuckers.
No, mine, I nailed the brain dump. That was fine. I nailed the not eating the pudding thing as well, the not eating the sweet thing. That was fine. Mine was just kind of the actual total amount more than anything. It was like I said, it's not an excuse as such. It's just fucking life, isn't it? Like I said, for me, it was more important to have those times at relationships than it was to hit that calorie target. Which I think is, maybe next week I won't have anything, and then it won't be. So it's one of them. If I'm going to set this goal, I'll do it. Now I haven't got any social occasions in. Got nothing planned for February, nothing like that. I went and did a big shop last night. So after today, after this party that I'm at, there's nothing. And chances are I'm going to eat before this party as well and not eat there. So if I'll commit to that too, you know. So there's no excuses from me. It just happened. Like I say, I hold my hands up to it. It was more important to me at that point in time to go see my brother, because he's up once every 6 months, than to go for a meal with him and stuff like that. And I think that's a big part of life. You know, ultimately, regardless of your fitness goals, regardless of your physique goals or anything like that, your relationships are probably going to matter a bit more, aren't they? That's in my personal opinion. But yeah, it's not really an excuse. It's just, I suppose, what I think on that one. I do hold my hands up to it now. Probably only got 3 out, maybe 4 out of the 7 days. Probably not good enough, to be honest. As for the offer thing, I've got no excuse on the 2 days. I just didn't do it. But the other 5, it actually bore fruit for me. So I thought it was definitely a good thing to do. And I'll be continuing it regardless of whether it's coming or not. I might try and up it. And like I said, the one that came the best for me that I actually ended up selling was an on-floor one, and where I was just chatting to a guy and I offered to work with him straight out, just asked him, and I got it, which was quite interesting. I feel like it's harder online to kind of just offer to work with somebody than it is in person, especially when they see you training. And when they see you training on a daily basis and they know what you're about, they know what you look like, the kind of shape you're in, and all that kind of thing. To then chat to them about their goals and where they want to be, and just to be straight up, well, I do this, do you want to work with me? It was almost it was quite easy. Like I know, Ben, you said the same about the conversations with people. You kind of have to ease your way into it and start the conversations. Then you'll know this from your texts and things like that. You almost have to find out a load and very gradually ease it in. It's a little bit easier when you're on the floor. So I think that's going to get easier when I get back on the gym floor at the start of February. As for relationship wise, yeah, it was all banging.
So one thing I'd say though, from what it's both what you've both said. You said you've done shitloads of content. I know it's valuable, but you don't make any money unless you're making offers. So I think both of you, and it's only because I've been there with an online business and being guilty of the same thing, it's still a form of procrastination, keeping you away from what is the most difficult thing in that business, which is making offers and starting conversations. You've got to stretch yourself, because you're only going to make the money in relation to the conversations and offers you're making, aren't you? Like
Yeah.
2 offers a day, it's not going to cut it. So
No.
it's the hardest bit, but that's where you've got to really pull. And you've got to, it's because it's a mental thing, isn't it? It's jumping into that cold plunge again.
Yeah.
Just fucking striking up and being a bit bold about it, making offers, shocking people, whether it's on the floor, on Instagram, on Facebook, whatever. Just like being a bit more savage about it. And maybe it's the first bit of it that sort of fills us with dread. I know I get that. I've got to follow up these people that I've spoken to only 2 days before. They never, ever phone me to follow up.
Yeah.
So I've got to follow them. And you've got to remember, you're coming out of a place of service. They've requested your service. They've requested my service. So they need somebody to sell it to them. So if they don't want to be sold to, they're talking shit because they're looking for something to buy.
Yeah.
Aren't they, at the end of the day? So
this is where it's tough
It's
with
a
mine,
service.
because a lot of my following base is from before I was coaching. So they're not following me for coaching, which is why I'm trying to drill the content side of it, because I need new followers who actually are following me for coaching tips. Now, anybody new who comes through automatically gets a message, but I'm tapping cold leads who have no interest in being coached, which is the bit that I'm struggling with on my own follower base. Because, like, if you get that, you know, like they're from before. So when I was in hospital and a manager in hospital, so these guys just want to go out and party most of the time. They don't give a fuck about the health. These were guys who lived, you know, I spent years with drinking and stuff like that. It's a different audience. So the reason I've tried to put more of a focus on the content side of it and increasing the quality of my content, the value that's provided, is if I can get new followers who are there for that specific reason, it's easier to strike that conversation up. Not even the fact that it's easier, they're there for that reason. In the same way as somebody who doesn't want to buy solar, you're trying to sell him solar, that's when it gets harder. That's the kind of situation I'm in.
I think a good way to combat that, John, and what I've been doing, what I think is helping quite a bit, is if you actively search for people you think could be your target audience on Insta or whatever, and you follow that person, 9 times out of 10, if they follow you back, they're going to be interested in your content, because first thing you do when someone follow you is look on the profile. Yeah. If you follow them and then they look on your profile and see that you're a coach, if they follow you back, it's because they're probably going to be interested in coaching in some way. If they look on your profile and it's nothing to do with coaching, then it is what it is. They're probably just following you back for its sake. But if there's coaching content everywhere on your page and you're sending the right message, they'll follow you back if they're interested. If they're not interested in coaching, they probably won't follow you back.
Yeah, that's why I have been doing the new follows, and I have been, like I say, offering to work with people. But I feel like a lot of my old follower base is probably not interested. I've done quite well to get as many as I have done off of it, in my own opinion. And that, yeah, but so that's kind of the hurdle I've got to overcome this week a little bit. So I'm, like I say, I think a lot of that's going to be just doing the same thing you're doing, Ben, and that's just following new people, searching for the kind of people who are following the content that I'm providing, and trying to get my personality out there, I suppose, trying to get my face out there.
Just looking at what you're going to do in it before you do it and think, right, is this going to generate revenue, or is this just generating traffic? Like, you've got to be cold about it. You can fart about the content. I'm same, man. Like, you can fart about the content all you want. If it's not generating revenue, it's wasting your time.
Mm-hmm.
So it needs to be like revenue generating activities, doesn't it? So yeah, it's just a mindset thing. We all get that little. I'm not sure. Do you get that where you right? I'm going to phone this person, or I'm going to message. It's almost like a little thing pulling you back. That's a tiny bit of fear, isn't there? Like there is. You both get that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Stops you calling people, doesn't it, or whatever? But actually, it's how you proposition that contact, isn't it? I'm just calling you. So it looked like you wanted some support. You're doing it out of service, aren't you? Instead of, thought you might be interested in the program.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in terms of like moving it forward for next week, where do you feel like you can move it forward, John? Where does Ben feel like we can move John forward? Let's work on that, because we've got the stuff in the sheet. What needs updating there?
I definitely think it needs to be a focus on wealth this week. To say so for me. I definitely need to be making more offers. I need to be doing more follows. So I think doing a big push on that for me this week is going to be the big thing. I've got this next week to get as much in kind of done and set and ready for when I start back on the floor next week as well. So my hybrid plan's all ready to go. I've got everything's in there. I've transferred all the golf club guys over, so it's now just a week of pretty much sales. So if I get as many online as I can before I get back on the gym floor and taking some one-to-ones and back on as well, that'll be mega. So I'll up it to 5 a day. I'll up it to 5 offers a day. And yeah, 20 follows, something like
that. Have you heard of that chat? Is it
ChatGPT?
Yeah.
It's AI. There's a few. There's Jasper AI as well, where it just regurgitates content for you.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't just do that, does it? It can do frigging everything.
Yeah. I haven't had a real good look at it, to be fair. ChatGPT.
It's mental.
I haven't.
It's absolutely mental. It'll blow your mind.
Yeah. Well, I've only listened to like one YouTube show on it, and I'm like, fucking hell, that's scary.
Yeah. So, like, no joke. I was thinking of content strategies the other day, and I was chatting to one of my mates about it, and he said, you do know you can just prompt exactly what you want and it'll create you a full content strategy. So I literally typed into chat GPT, create me a content strategy with the wording for the captions for this particular target audience over X amount of days, addressing these pain points. And you can literally just spitball the amount of keywords and stuff that you want it to involve. And I shit you not, this thing gurgitated 20 full posts in around 3 seconds.
Fucking hell.
Honestly, it blew my mind. I was just like, what the hell?
And the quality was good.
Yeah, some of it were quite generalized, and the wording on some of them you could think that's not how I would talk. But I would say 90% of the content, mate, is like quality. It's mind blowing, honestly. So if you've not tried like AI stuff, I'd definitely just experiment with it. It blew me away, mate. I couldn't believe it. In 3 seconds. Anything to do with like copywriting stuff for your businesses and stuff like that as well, mate. It'll write in 3 seconds. It's absolutely next generation, mate. It blows me away. So definitely something I'd look into.
They were saying like it's going to wipe entire like employment sectors out.
Don't even get me started, mate. Don't even get me started. All jobs are going to be void. 90% of jobs are going to be void in the next 5 years because AI is advancing so much. You don't need copywriters or middlemen or management tools or all this stuff because you can just AI create me this, AI manage me this, AI do this. It's gonna do everything.
But even conversations, isn't it? So real estate, they're saying that it does better conversations than a realtor in America or whatever, or it's selling more.
Yeah,
just by conversation
because it's got access to every language model that's been written about humans and all this like millions and millions of pages of data based on how we act and interact and everything. So if you say AI create me something that's got the highest likelihood to close this person, this is another thing. If you're having a conversation with somebody, in fact, if you're having a conversation with somebody, you can put in the conversation into the chat box in AI and ask the AI to create you a response that is most likely to close this person into a sale. And it'll write you a response. How crazy is that?
So why are you two not messaging shit tons of people?
I'm getting on ChatGPT.
So if you've got someone with loads of objections in a conversation, you can copy and paste that conversation into the AI chat box and say, I'm not sure how to close this person or how to carry on this conversation. Generate me a response which has got the highest likelihood of carrying on this conversation or closing this sale, and it'll create you in 3 seconds.
Oh, that's dangerous. I'm getting on ChatGPT.
Mental, that, isn't it?
That's scary. That's like having John sat next to you.
Wait, mate, I'll get on it.
Okay, That's a bit. It makes your skin crawl a bit, doesn't it?
Scary, isn't it? Scary stuff. Scary stuff, mate.
Nobody's gonna have a job soon.
So pull spreadsheet up so we can work through and set
I've got it.
like more advanced goals, or at
I
least.
I think that's the thing to do this week then, is to try and set, because we've been fairly generalised in the goals we've set, but we've eased into this obviously because it is a new thing. So it's, you know, it's not going to be perfect straight from the off. So maybe we refine our goals a little bit.
I think one of the biggest things for me as well is I think I do need more. I think I need holding accountable more a little bit. So I think one of the good things, if you guys, for me, like Wednesday or Thursday this next week, if you actually reach out to me and say, are you still doing it? Are you doing it? Because I think as we start to die down in the chat, or subconsciously, I'm probably thinking, oh, I'm getting away with this. Do you know what I mean?
Donuts.
Motivation's always high at the start, isn't it? So
It's standard,
the same in
isn't it?
any client on a program. Your motivation when you start is sky high. So for the start of the week, every time we come off these conversations, we're like, right, we've got plans, we know what we need to do. And we do it. The first 3 days, we were all bang on. And then after that, as the mid-weekend started to come in, Den got ill, I had social things on, little things just start cropping up, and it starts to kind of seep towards the back of your mind. And it's about trying to keep that at front of mind, I think.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what we all need to do and commit to as well, is that we are daily posting in that group.
Yeah.
Well, So one of the things I'm going to suggest, we'll schedule it like Wednesday's Ben's day, Thursday's John's day, and you've got to do it or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like schedule it, and then it's accountable. We're accountable, aren't we?
Yeah, but I think we do need to be daily at that group. And we were at the start, and obviously, like we know life happens, but it's like I just said, it's at the start of every week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're all there, bang, 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 bang. Have you done it, boys? Have you done it? And then kind of Thursday comes around, week start, you get over hump day, and then it's your weekend's coming in, you're getting stuff sorted for work, you're trying to get some time with your other half, whatever it is. Like, it just goes to the back of mind. So I think we just need to keep that front of mind. So I think then you suggested last week that by 9 o'clock every night, we all have to have put it into the spreadsheet and then message in the group saying we've done it. And I think 9 o'clock's a good cut off for it. It's not too late, it's not too early. You can say whether you've done what you said you're going to do. So if we all commit to that, that's our daily accountability. And then we can have a scheduled day where we check in. So if we say, Wednesday Ben, Tuesday me, Friday Den, because Friday's the end of your working week. Obviously mine and Ben's isn't. So how does that sound to you?
Yeah.
So let's add that on.
This is the part of it, isn't it? It's we're being real. But what we need to have, well, we're all different, aren't we? So John's already at this level. But for me, I can't believe how much I've realised habits are going to change my life.
100%.
Like almost as scary as AI. I'm like, fucking hell.
You are the summation.
If I do this.
This is witchcraft.
Who you are as a person is the summation of your daily habits, and you go on autopilot in a lot of things. And we spoke about this last time. It's like 66 days to build a good habit. So like if your habit is to eat fast like I do, I automatically eat fast, and I can try and slow myself down, but unless I actively consciously every single meal have to rewire that in my brain, that's my habit, and that is who I am. And those habits are formed over your lifetime in everything that you do, from childhood and things like that. And those habits never actually leave. I was listening to a really good Stephen Bartlett did a Diary of CEO, and he does an hour-long conversation on habits and how to rewire yourself. And one of the things they found in scientific study about habits is they never leave you. What you can do is override them with other habits, but that habit will never really leave you. So it's that reward system. So it's the action, the reward. So it's the cue, action, reward. So you've got to override that system. So if you remove the cue, you can then change the way that your brain starts to perceive the reward. And there's loads to it, but you are, like I said, you're the summation of your habits. So if you started to create good habits now, you need to continue doing that. And like you said, when you got ill, you drifted back into your old habits because they will always be there, because you kind of you your discipline goes a little bit. Your will to kind of think and override that initial habit is gone a little bit. So
it weren't a disaster. The habit that went was getting in a cold shower. There's no way I'm getting in a cold shower when I feel fucking shit. Like,
yeah.
I'm not apologising for that habit going. Forget it.
No, but this is it. But now you've got to kind of restart that process to get in the cold
Yeah, I
shower.
will do, but I'm not getting in there, mate. I felt like I was frozen to the bone anyway. I felt awful.
You probably got a fever then. You probably could have done with a cold shower.
Mate, I could, honestly felt a bit. It's gone now and it's done. But I wanted. I know that. That's what I mean. I some good stuff. A lot of the habits that this first 3 or 4 weeks stayed. I've not done anything shit. I've still worked. I've still been accountable. You're selective, aren't you? So, like I said, I kept my blood flow going to my heart, sort of thing. Forgot all the stuff that doesn't really matter.
I think a lot of it is that you've had good rewards from the habits that you've now created, which is which is creating good new pathways and neurological pathways in your brain for that habit forming thing. So that's kind of how you've got to do it. You've got to find ways to reward yourself for those positive habits. And it's good to see that you kept them, though, even though you were.
You fall to the level of your habits, don't you? That's it. You fall to the level of your habits.
Yeah.
So yeah, good. It's not like I've gone to McDonald's or you know,
a donut or
no.
But
Jokes aside, I would have probably eaten a lot of chocolate or something, or just had a binge day or whatever. I hadn't done any of that. I've made good choices. I've stayed. I'm on a program as well, which I didn't want to spoil. Good. That's a habit. I'm obviously good at gym's a habit for me. It's not. It's probably not done out of choice anymore. Like them days are gone. It's just a habit that I do. So I get the benefit from it. I've kept going out walking, getting fresh air, because that's massively changed my life last year, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just interesting, isn't it? So I'm very keen. I can't wait to get back on the habits that are stretching me, because they are pulling me in a different direction. So
if that's what we're going to commit to this week, then we need to be looking at things that are going to stretch us a bit further than they have. The harder they seem, the more likely you are to put a bit more attention into it as well. So like making 2 offers a day, for me, it didn't seem that hard. And it sounds shit that I didn't do it on 2 of the days. On the 5 days I did it and they were done by like 8 o'clock in the morning. But like, I don't feel like that's enough. Like I say, that's why I want to step it up. And I feel like they have to be genuine. They have to be offers to genuine people who may work with you. It's all good and well just messaging someone saying, right, I've got space, do you want it? But I think it's about initiating these conversations and really stretching your comfort zones on it a little bit. So I think this is week 4, it is a good time to maybe refine these goals, stretch them, and fucking commit to doing this properly there.
Yep. I'll get it sheet up on here.
I've got it up.
Do you want to share screen?
Oh, can you enable it, John?
Should be enabled. There we go. Good.
Right.
So why are you guys filling it in further downstream than I am?
Because I've messaged you this. We're in week 4 of Jan, aren't we, man? This is January, if you look at the bottom.
Okay.
So now we're going into week 5 of Jan, and then February will start.
Yeah, I'll create a new one for February there at bottom. And then we'll just carry on. So, John.
Yep.
What do you think? So, out of the 2 offers a day, let's say you did it 4 days a week. That's like what, 8 offers or whatever. So, out of those eight offers, what came to fruition from that? 1, did you say?
1 sale, yeah.
Okay, so maybe if maybe your offers are something that A can give you a higher close rate, and B that's like larger stretch. So maybe try and get 2 or 3 offers to get on calls with people, rather than just an offer via message or whatever. Or, well, it might not be just online where you're going into hybrid, obviously not actually. But maybe something that's going to give you a higher success rate, but also is going to stretch you. What do you think then?
Yeah, stretch him.
What about, so you think 2 offers on a scale of 1 to 10? How easy were it for 2 offers a day? Like genuine ones, like you said, not just hi, I'm a coach, want to work with me.
Yeah, 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do 5. Oh.
I think the offer to calls is a better idea as well. Then, you know, I need to be getting them on the phone or on Zoom, really.
Yeah.
It's quite hard to pry the pain points out of people, find out what problems they have that really need a solution just from a message. You can get, what is he looking for? What is he looking to change, etc. But most of them just like, I just want to lose a bit of weight, turn up. That old fitness adage, isn't it? Lose weight, turn up.
I think 5 genuine offers then. So I think try and get them on calls.
Yeah.
Unless it's face to face, you can use that as an exception if it's like an actual face to face interaction. But I think 5 genuine offers per day.
John, what you've just said there, what do you mean? Are you not like saying, oh, how much weight, why, how's that affecting your life?
Yeah, just I feel like you don't get as much out of a message as you do when you're on a Zoom call with somebody. You'll know that yourself, which is why you do discovery messages, and then you'll have an actual sales call.
I think 5 genuine offers per day then to get on calls, and then from the call, then you've got an higher probability of closing them, and you can dig deeper into pitting points and all that jazz, can't you?
If I can get up to about 2 sales a week, 3 sales a week, I'm flying. Do you know what I mean?
Like, are you doing Zoom sales calls?
At the moment, yeah. When I get sales calls, yeah.
Are you going to record one?
Yeah, I can record one. Next time I get one, I had an online Zoom sales call for about 2 weeks.
Okay, well, that's a goal straight away, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. Health, John, you said you stuck reasonably to, but you had a lot of social events that
Yes, my social events are dying down now. I ain't got nothing planned, and I'm not putting anything in there for February.
What? I want to go to golfing.
All right, then. Looks like that's going on the window.
I've got a leaving Chesterfield party next week.
Fucking hell. All right. I'll just go. You don't have to eat a golf thing. I'll eat before. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, so it'll probably be the same. I do want to get back on it. Just 2,600 a day. The sweet thing hasn't been an issue, if I'm honest. I haven't craved anything, or I've kind of got over that a little bit. More just, like I say, it's just been the food that you eat when you're out.
Well, why don't we then, rather than just saying 2,600, in case out comes up and you want to go out and do whatever, why don't we just do that as an average?
Yeah.
The week average. So if you do go out, you just make the sacrifice the next morning or the day before or whatever, just so that overall your cows
balance the budget.
Yeah.
So
let's just say 18,200 average for next week.
Yeah.
And then you've got the bit of flexibility, aren't you, if you do want to go out or something comes up or whatever.
If Den wants to go smash as a golf fan. Den, we're gonna Ben's deceivingly good at golf.
I don't know if you know them, but I'm kind of a big deal.
Mate, he had a crutch in one hand and his putter in the other, and he literally was like 5 under par for the whole course or something mad.
It used to be a thing on telly, crazy golf. You'd get like professional crazy golf players.
Really?
Honestly, man. Like proper wearing all golf gear and all.
That's a career change for you there, brother, if you want.
Well, you never know.
BCGA.
You used to be on telly a lot. It was like in America.
Well, that makes more sense.
It does.
relationship wise, brain dumping and organizing your thoughts. You said you still did that, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay. Happy with that? Think we need to change it? What do you reckon?
It's up to you. It's up to you boys. This the brain dump's been fine. I need to get back on my discipline diary. That's for some reason I kept doing the brain dumps but missing the discipline diary off. So that's one of my things for this week anyway that I've already set myself. So you don't need to stress too much about that.
Careful with self-coaching, John.
What?
Careful with self-coaching.
You're right. You send me whatever you want, honestly.
Any ideas, Dan?
The brain dump's been good this week. Maybe it's part of the reason why I'm zen as well at the moment. Maybe I am getting a lot of that shit out. But we're not going around the houses on this.
Said that last week, didn't we?
Yeah.
So discipline diary every morning.
Yeah.
And brain dump before bed.
Yeah, man.
I feel like as goals,
I feel like that's not. I don't know if it's stretching. Is it?
No, well, that's what I'm going to say. I think, like, it's almost like we need a compliance figure rather than a goal. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's discipline. Like this week, there's compliance for all of us for different reasons. It's been about 60% because we've got through to Wednesday and we've all flopped at some point. So it's almost like the same goals, but higher compliance. We need to get to at least Saturday or Sunday or 7 days of your discipline diary, 7 days of tracking, whatever it is.
Why don't we go for the 80-20 rule then, which is one that I try and get clients to do? If we can because if you can smash it 80% of the time, you're going to be a lot further forward. So why not this week we aim for 80% and then we can aim to up that again the week after to 90 and then we can try and,
Because I feel like if it's 80%, you might get 60 or 70. Do you know what I mean? I know what you're saying, but I feel like if I'm like, oh, I've only got to be good 80% of the time.
That's a you thing then, Ben, isn't it?
Oh, is that just me?
He's like that, reaching for the donut again.
What? I get 2 days where I don't have to have it. I can eat a donut again.
Go 90% then if you want. 90%.
I just think we need to just, rather than change anything, like you said, I think we just need to fucking make sure we do it consistently every single day.
That's where I think the daily accountability that we hold each other to is going to be important as well, because we did at the start.
Yeah, and then
we were pretty on point, and then as we drift off and that accountability starts to slack, it's a bit easier to convince yourself that you get away with it if there's nobody there, isn't it? And sometimes that's.
Well, I didn't even fill it in Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
I know. So we need to just be on that. And I think that 9 o'clock deadline and that daily where we're all in the group, that needs to just be a thing.
So at this point, it's like we've got goals nailed down that we think are going to move us forward. Can't we just challenge ourselves to fucking give it 100% for the first week of the month?
Yeah.
Like, have the challenge, like, put ourselves out there, like, right, these are the things we've identified and spoken about.
Punishment.
Every week, yeah.
Let's do a punishment.
But a daily thing, so gets to 9 o'clock. Have we done it? No. What's the punishment then? Like, I don't know. What does it have to be a punishment? Because
yeah. No, why don't we do a punishment that's fun or that makes us even more productive?
The thing is, you'd say cold plunge, wouldn't you? But John's like mastered it.
I love it.
That's just part of daily habits now, that, isn't it?
It's like one of the most enjoyable parts of my day now.
Really?
Yeah, love it. Love it. Said this to Beth earlier.
That's took 4 weeks, mate, because I love the best bit that makes me belly laugh about your videos. I fucking don't want to do this. Oh, got to do my fucking cold plunge. Like, there's an anger there. Yeah. In fact, I'm not doing that because you did that this week. You said something similar, like fucking cold plunge.
Yeah, because it was freezing outside, but when I got in it and I've done it, loved it.
Yeah.
Even when it's freezing, I've just been adding extra freezer blocks and shit now. It's fucking like 2 degrees, well, like 1 degree outside. There's ice everywhere, and I'm just adding freezer blocks. It's just getting colder. Like, I love it. Like, I get really excited. I'm like, straight into the shorts.
It was quite good the other day when you did that live where you were just talking for about 5 minutes, just in a fucking freezing cold pool. Just like steady.
Do you see? I did a thing earlier for you as well on my story.
I think that's what I meant. Story.
Yeah, I did one. I did one this morning. As I sat there, just surrounded in like fucking pink freezer box. Right?
Why don't come? It's supposed to have come Friday. It's not come.
No, mate, you'll love it when you get into it. It's class. It is
Yeah.
very good.
I couldn't do it this week. I felt horrible this week.
Right.
Right.
Ben's goals.
My goals.
So stretch a bit, but get 100%. So
See yours, mate. I'm not stupid. Cold showers, no pudding. Right, no pudding. 1 week, Ben. No pudding, no donuts, no sticky toppers. And yeah, 100% compliance on your cold showers. You did that anyway, didn't you? Did you
Yeah.
get 100%? There's a wry smile there.
he's lying, isn't he?
He's lying.
No, have you not seen what I put on spreadsheet?
Fair dues. Yeah, right. Are you sticking with cold showers?
Yeah, I've been doing them every day, mate, to be fair. And weirdly, like, it's funny that you just said that about you look forward to it, because today I normally get in and with a normal temperature shower for like just a minute so I can actually like shampoo my hair and wash myself, because once I'm under that cold shower, I just I'm just stiff as a flag. But like, funny
That's
enough,
probably harder that.
but
Getting warm first.
Yeah. But funny enough, today I were in for like 30 seconds in the normal temperature shower, and I were like a bit apprehensive. Like I just wanted to get it cold straight away, because I know how I feel afterwards. So
That's gotta be hard.
although I don't like doing it, I were almost like itching to just get it done. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I still feel like they're making a massive difference to my life.
100%. There's cold plunges out for me.
But yeah, so by next week, hopefully I'll buy one as well. So that's something to look forward to. But cold showers, I feel like I can take off, because I'm just gonna do them every day.
Yep.
This is me now.
I'm saying the cold plunges, yeah. It's part of it.
But I definitely need to do no pudding.
You're back training, aren't you? So how many days a week are you going for training?
I'm gonna start. I don't want to murder myself off at back, but so I'm gonna say like 5 times.
Yeah. So 5 times, train 5 times. That's a good. Wealth.
Don't know. You tell me.
So it was 5 conversations, 10 follows. So you've been saying you've been hitting 20. So let's keep that 20 up on 100% compliance, 20 follows. 5 convos you've not quite hit. So let's try and get to that. I think hitting that figure first, instead of trying to push that when you're not hitting it already. I think 5 conversations is a good one. Maybe that ties in with mine as well. So maybe you have 5. Why don't you also stick with 5 genuine offers? We've kind of got a similar kind of goal there, because we're both trying to do a similar kind of thing, which is grow our coaching businesses. So I think that's a good one, and we can hold each other accountable, because if one of us is doing it, the other isn't. One of us is slacking. So I think that's going to be quite good as a little bit of friendly competition as well. So maybe the 5 genuine offers instead of 5 conversations. And we both go for 100% compliance on that. Figure that out, Dan?
Yeah.
Yep. Sound. Relationships.
What was it? Sharing social media. Yeah, I need to do a social media post for us this week.
Yeah. Social media. So why don't you do, I think, as a stretch for you, because I'm fairly on top with this. I think you need to be doing a daily post. Now, whether that's your coaching business or us, it needs to be 1 piece of social content every day. And even if you did 5 for your coaching and 2 for us, or something like that, do you know what I mean? But I think something each day, you need to be generating a piece of content of value. Because I think that's going to tie into you being able to do genuine offers. If you're getting 50, 60 followers this week, that's 50, 60 people you can potentially have conversations with or that now want value from you. So let's start providing that value. I think that's a good way to stretch yourself. Would you agree, Dan?
Yeah, definitely. As long as it's got to be, got to capitalise on it, and that's the end of the day. That's what you're trying to do. It's all right getting followers, but it means nothing if you don't squeeze something out of them, deliver something.
Sweet.
Sound right then, Dan.
Then stop having horrendous immune system.
You know what? The worst thing about like I'm shocking for saying to people, I never get ill. I never get ill, and I refuse to be ill. And literally, I was saying it to somebody last week, and I've gone and got banged this week. So
I think for you, the biggest thing is, you sound like you've still got a positive attitude about it, but I think the biggest thing for you right now needs to be that you take last week on chin and just get straight back into it.
I want to hit 7 days of full on being habitual. I want to be ticking boxes because I felt really good that first couple of days. I felt really accomplished. Everything moving forward. It has actually set me up.
Yeah.
My big goal this week, I want to hit 5 sales this week, which is fucking a massive stretch. I've never done it, not in this business, but if I do, that'll be massive.
Right. So for wealth, we've put it 5 sales in.
Yeah.
That can be your stretched goal.
It is a stretch goal. That is a stretch goal.
Good. I reckon.
Felt like I could have done it this week. It's just that some people they're just not ready.
Yeah.
But it could play next week. You might absolutely cruise through it. So let's keep that positive attitude going.
Okay. What about health then? You had punch pull and therapy exercises.
Yeah, I mean, cold showers, something I do. It's a habit. It's in my thing to tick off. The things I don't do.
Oh, you've gone down.
So, I just want to do this thing 7 days. So I want to track for 7 days.
Stick to program.
Yeah. Well, I do stick to.
Yeah. I'll reset last week's anyway for you, so you can restart on week 2.
Good about that. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed those rep ranges.
Right. I think for you then, just keep it simple. We'll keep the plunge pull in just because I think this is all what we just do every day now.
Well, I'm going to be getting the plunge pull.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've just put therapy exercises every day. No ifs or buts.
I hadn't done them because
So in relationships, speak to friends every day. I think main thing for you this week then is obviously because you've been avoiding your kids or you've been ill and stuff.
Kids and mum and dad.
I think that they need to take priority this week as soon as you're feeling up to it.
Yeah. I'll spend. Yeah, I need to do something with kids.
Take the kids out. Take your mum and dad out. I think or go out.
Yeah.
2 good things to have this week.
And get in contact with your mate. Who was it? Is it Rob? Did you say?
No, Lewis.
Yeah.
Involved in today.
Don't. Right.
So we've got goals. We're going for 100% compliance from tomorrow.
Sorted.
Banging. So 100% compliance.
What about this thing, Ben? In this.
Then you keep cutting out, brother. Oh, he's gone.
3, 2, 1. Den's gone.
What happened there?
You keep cutting out.
You keep juttering.
Yeah, it said that. What about in that sheet where it's got somebody choose where highlight who's posting on that day so we can see it? It's in front of everybody. Or even just put like FB or so like say Wednesday's Ben's day to post in our group or about this.
Yeah.
Just just so we can see it, whose day it is.
Should we do Wednesday, Ben, Thursday, me, Friday, Dan?
Yeah. What about other days?
Yeah. Do you want to do Monday, Friday then? You can start your working week, end your working week.
Yeah.
Let us know what you got planned on the Monday. On the Friday, you can tell us whether you've done it.
Yeah.
You hit your goals.
Yep.
I'll do Tuesday and I'll do Tuesday and Thursday. And then if Ben does Wednesday, Saturday.
So what are we doing Wednesday, Saturday? Sorry. What am I doing? You know, instead of we're posting, do you mean a social media or do you mean a group or what?
Yeah, social media. In the group, we need to be daily. I think all of us need to be
social media. Okay.
So it can just be a video of you saying, this is me, you know, I've just spoke to 3 people, I've got 2 calls booked, whatever it is, or, you know, on Wednesday and 3 days in, I've stuck to what I said I'm going to do, I'm 100%, and then on Saturday we can see where we're at, and because then Sunday we talk, so there's only 6 days, 2 days each, it works.
100%, boys, come on. We'll be miles down the road next week.
I want some fucking online bits next week. I've got next week. One of the things I thought as well though is one of the reasons I struggled last week is a lot of the week I felt like I was in limbo. I said this to a few people. It was almost like a transition period. I said this to you guys, I think, as well. I felt like I was in a transition period because I've come from managing all the time, working, then going to Den and working all the time, being on my phone, and then just like having little bits. And I've always got my own line like ticking over in the back. But now I'm going back onto the gym floor. I've had this 2 weeks where I've kind of been sat there a lot of the time, like it literally felt like purgatory. It was like limbo. So I know what I'm gonna be next week. I don't know where I am right now. And because I wasn't kind of earning, it was a weird feeling. I've kind of got over it now a little bit because I know that next week I've got a big week to push. And I did get a lot done. I've had a productive week, but it was a weird feeling. It was almost boredom. I'm so used to just being busy all the time and not having that structure of like, I'm doing this and this and this and this. It's weird. So that's one of mine for next week anyway, I think, is just create that structure again.
Can you just remind me, so I'm Wednesday, Saturday. What are you, John?
Tuesday, Thursday. Then Wednesday, then Monday, Friday. Or about then Monday, Thursday, me Tuesday, Friday. This is a bit more of an even spread. There's like 3 days between each of our posts then, isn't there?
What's the punishment for not doing what we said we did?
Cold plunge.
What, a nighttime one or something?
I'm not bothered when I have to do it, mate. Just let me know. I'll jump in.
I feel like this isn't a punishment.
Not really a punishment for you, is it?
I don't know. What do you reckon?
Maybe we ask other people.
Yeah, put down, give us a comment on what you think the punishment should be. We'll get some rate savage shit though. Harry Kiri or something like that.
So, come on, think.
We'll come together, and I think that maybe Den, you create the punishment. You also you're so on creating this punishment on your Monday post. You can tell us what the punishment is.
Right,
you can think of it, and then tomorrow on your post, you can be like, right, boys, this is what we've got set for this weekend. If none of us hit 100%, this is the punishment.
I've got an idea.
All right, go on then.
I've got an idea here, boys.
Go on.
And it'll make it, I promise you, it'll make us less likely to fuck up. If one of us fails, we all have to do the punishment. Because then you're going to not want to fuck up because you know you're going to get the other 2 punished as well.
Yeah, I'm up for that.
Back to the old rugby sport days. If one of you made a mistake, mate, you were all getting fucked.
Maybe it's like
I'm all about that one for
what
all.
What about like a dawn leg and a wing into a fucking freezing cold lake or something?
All right.
We ice on it. Just drown
Yeah,
it.
just skid across his face.
I think, yeah, maybe we do. It's all good and well doing a cold. To be fair, it's all good and well doing a cold plunge when you're in the comfort of your own house or just outside. You come in, get a towel on you, and warm up.
We'll do a plunge.
Maybe the punishment
outside.
is we all have to do. If we don't get 100% this week, we all have to do, and we have to find somewhere and do a fucking 6 a.m. cold plunge. We all, and because then we've got to drive there, so that means we're up at 5. We've all got to sacrifice fucking finances in petrol and things like that. And then we've got to get there and it's going to be fucking freezing. So if we're going to do a cold plunge one, that's quite a good one. So it has to be in nature. And we all have to do it together if one of us fails.
Well, yeah.
And we have to live stream it.
Another thing.
Wearing
It's
budgie
funny, it
smugglers.
doesn't sound
Yeah,
like cold
we have to
plunge.
live stream it wearing budgie smugglers.
It shows you that to me, it don't feel like a punishment that what we're thinking.
That sounds fun. I'm getting hyped.
Yeah.
Can we get this booked in?
Yeah, mate. I'm ordering some great budgie smugglers now.
Yeah, need to think of something. We'll think of something.
Go on, we'll figure it. Bang it up on your post on Monday. And then the same for 100% compliance. Let's do it. Anything else for this week, lads?
Yeah.
All good.
Make sure we do it. All right.
Dan, I'm glad you're feeling a bit better. Ben, enjoy training again. I'll check in with you all tomorrow morning. And let's crack on. Let's attack the week.
Let's do it.
See you later.